Director of the Department of Neighborhoods for the City of Columbus, and it is an honor to be here with you this evening. I'm so excited, and I appreciate everyone who is here with us tonight for this important and long-standing community tradition, the lighting of City Hall. I call it the official kickoff for Pride Month, although I know there were some other events that took place over the weekend, but they were just the appetizer for the main course, which is here this evening. I believe that the lighting of City Hall sends an important message to all. It shows that Columbus is an open and welcoming community to all. In 2023, the LGBTQ+ community has faced a growing number of challenges in state houses across the nation, from legislation that rolls back important protections. We want to be clear to everyone who is part of Columbus's vibrant LGBTQ+ community. In our city, you are protected. We see you, we hear you, and we love you. Thank you, Mayor Ginther, Council President Hardin, Auditor Kilgore, Denzel Porteous, and Steve Schellebarger for being here with us this evening. And an early thank you to the members of the Columbus Gay Men's Chorus, who we will hear from a little later in the program. Tonight, we will also recognize a distinguished leader with the Schellebarger Illuminator Award and light City Hall in Pride colors. This will make it crystal clear that Columbus is an open and welcoming community for all. Thank you, Mayor Ginther, Council President Hardin, and Auditor Kilgore for your bold and thoughtful leadership to ensure that tonight's celebration is possible. It is now my pleasure to introduce a leader who is deeply committed to our city and our residents. Please join me in welcoming our Mayor, Andrew Ginther, to the podium.
Good evening. What a great night here in Columbus. To the director, to the council president, to the auditor, to Denzel and Steve and Chris, and how about the Gay Men's Chorus? Let's give it up, the Gay Men's Chorus. Happy Pride, Columbus. It is great to be back here with all of you tonight to light up City Hall and to kick off Pride Month in Ohio's capital city. It's always so uplifting to come together as a community, celebrate generations of leaders, advocates, and allies who've had the courage to stand up, to do what is right, and to usher in sweeping reforms that have led to a fairer, just, more equal society. We recognize and cherish these monumental leaps forward. We wouldn't be where we are today without the vast contributions of countless LGBTQ+ Americans, including so many right here in Columbus. But we also enter this Pride season confronting an undeniable reality, one that we must all address with our words, with our actions, with our votes, and whatever levers of impact and influence we have at our disposal. LGBTQ+ neighbors are under relentless attack. Over the past year, hundreds of anti-gay, queer, and transgender laws have been introduced in state legislatures all over the country, including, I'm sad to say, right here in Ohio. Despite the progress that's been achieved, we're seeing lawmakers choosing to spend their time and energy demeaning those in their communities who've historically been marginalized, shunned, made to feel less than, simply because they're different. Imagine if, instead, these same folks devoted their time and energy to promoting the public good, improving quality of life, working instead to set the stage for a kinder, stronger, more hopeful tomorrow. What they're doing is making a cynical choice to bully, to scapegoat, to attack. They're fanning the flames of hatred and discrimination. which we've seen in our own community. The fascists and neo-Nazis going out of their way to harass, intimidate, and threaten our LGBTQ+ neighbors. They're trying to roll back the clock to a time when they and others like them had a near universal grip on power. What they're doing is putting queer and trans lives in danger, with children and teens as their primary targets. This runs counter to everything we believe in, who we are, and who we aspire to be as a city. It's a brazen attack on our core values, on our commitment to defend and promote a diverse and inclusive community. No one should face discrimination because of who they are or whom they love. Make no mistake, the city of Columbus sees you. We hear you. We respect and we support wholeheartedly our LGBTQ+ neighbors. We're fully committed to fending off these cowardly attacks and offering a safe and welcoming place for everyone to come home, to call home. We condemn the dangerous and backward laws targeting families and youth, and we'll be standing alongside you at every step of the way to push back and fight back against intolerance, discrimination, and injustice. Let us continue to celebrate the rich and beautiful diversity of the LGBTQ+ community, and make certain that this Pride Month embodies the resilience, the love, and compassion that has powered this movement throughout history and into the 21st century. Pride belongs to each and every one of us, and we have a responsibility, regardless of who we are, who we love, where we live, where we were born, what language we speak, to fight for pride and to make sure that every one of our neighbors is treated and valued and respected. That's what pride is all about. God bless you. Happy Pride, everybody.
Thank you, Mayor. We couldn't do this work, and it wouldn't be possible without our partners in City Council. Please join me in welcoming Council President Shannon Hardin to the podium.
Thank you, Mayor Ginther, to Director Carla Williams-Scott, Auditor Kilgore, to my friend Denzel, to the Mr. Steve Schellenberger. Let's recognize Mr. Steve Schellenberger. We stand on his shoulders. And to the musicians that are going to be, who have been here almost every year since the beginning, thank you so much. To the Columbus Gay Chorus, please recognize them as well. Camen's Chorus. Would you help me recognize my colleagues on Columbus City Council, starting with President Pro Tem Rob Dorrance, Councilmember Lourdes Barrosa de Padilla, Councilmember Nick Bankston, Councilmember Emmanuel Remy, Councilmember Mitch Brown, and to help her make her entrance, come on in, her grand entrance. Give it up for my colleague. She was here, Councilmember Shayla Favor. Where's the walk-on music? Pride is a celebration. I also want to give a shout out to one of the newest members of my staff, my team, Jose Rodriguez. He has been a huge public service, but also someone who's given so much to this LGBT community. As the mayor said, happy Pride, everyone. Happy Pride. So we gathered today to recognize June as Pride Month to commemorate the Stonewall riots, the beginning of the LGBTQ+ liberation movement in the United States. We celebrate the brave individuals who stood up against intolerance over 5 decades ago at the Stonewall Inn. But we also must understand that the Stonewall riots were not the beginning of the movement, nor, unfortunately, did they mark the end of discrimination and intolerance against the LGBTQ community either. Over the past year, we've seen frightening increases in legislation across the country targeting LGBTQ folks, specifically the transgender community. Certain politicians want to prevent transgender kids from participating equally in sports events, and in some states, transgender individuals are prohibited from receiving the life-saving care that they need. In the face of threats against our community, as the mayor said, we will stand united. We will fight back, and we will push them back. We must also learn from those Stonewall heroes who started fighting for freedom some may take for granted today. For most of Columbus's history, you could lose your job for just being gay. In March of 1984, Columbus City Council was asked to change that law, to outlaw employment discrimination based on sexual orientation. But at that time, City Council refused to act. We recently found an article published in the Dispatch on March 15, 1984. It was titled, "Gay Rights Foes Target Hammond." And you'd be shocked at some of the truly hateful rhetoric espoused by those opposed to the employment discrimination bill right here in Columbus. A local pastor warned that the bill's passage would result in homosexuals flooding daycare centers and public schools. Another local suggested that the bill would result in children catching unclean diseases. Despite the bill's defeat, that local LGBTQ advocate spoke out against this hatred, including Craig Covey, then the executive director of Stonewall Columbus. He demonstrated incredible personal bravery. It was a setback, but the LGBTQ community in Columbus did not back down. They organized and they united in the face of intolerance, fighting for their rights as Americans. Over the past 4 decades, our city council has changed significantly, and I'm proud to stand on the shoulders of such leaders as MJ Hudson. Let's celebrate MJ. I would not be here without MJ Hudson, Jose, Craig, Chris Kozad, and many more. Ultimately, worker protections were adopted as law, and the city started down the path as a protector of equality and equity. We fought for gay marriage rights, created our domestic partner registry in 2012, and prohibited traumatizing conversion therapy in 2017. Columbus is now a grade A leader in the struggle for LGBTQ+ rights. Today, Columbus is proud to be a safe home for thousands of LGBTQ+ individuals, and the city will continue to do whatever it takes to create this safeguard for human rights. As we continue to face intolerance in the Ohio State House, we keep in mind 4 critical lessons from those who came before us. 1, never to stop speaking up for what is right. 2, you can only change hearts and minds when you make your arguments and make them known. 3, even in the face of unfriendly legislatures, we can win the rights and dignity that we deserve. And 4, and maybe most importantly, we all must vote. We all must vote. These are our rights. We all must vote. As we stand strong in opposition to hatred and bigotry, it's also important that we celebrate our community. We know that there can be joy even in times of struggle. Take the time to hug those around you, share in every loss, but also acknowledge every victory. Uplift our families and our neighborhoods and every ally who stands with us. Extremists work for division, but we cannot let them divide us. Even in the face of intolerance, the LGBTQ+ community in Columbus is stronger than ever. Happy Pride, Columbus.
Thank you, Council President Hardin. It is now my pleasure to welcome our city auditor and my friend, Auditor Megan Kilgore, to the podium.
Thank you, Director. Happy Pride. Good evening, Columbus. Good evening. Happy Pride Month, and what a gorgeous evening to be here with you when we once again illuminate City Hall for the things and the reasons that we care so deeply about: inclusion, equity, and freedom. Special regards tonight, my dear friend Steve Schellebarger, one of the reasons why we're here, Chris Kozad, I was very, very honored to support you at the nomination for Women of Achievement. Big, big honor for our friend Chris, the YWCA. And I think probably Lizzo said it best. It's about damn time. And hey, we're all family here. I take that very seriously. And I want to say to a special dignitary here, Carla, we're holding you very, very close. Pride is hard. It's hard for you in ways that you probably don't even yet know, but every single person here is here for you, and we're all your family. So as you see Carla, give her some extra love this next couple weeks. So Steve and I were chatting at the HRC dinner, and we were talking about, frankly, it's kind of like gay NPR when we get together. We talk about deep, deep subjects. But we were talking about the erosion across this country. Did you know, and I looked this up today, in the first 2 months of the year, there were 385 separate bills, anti-LGBTQ legislation, averaging 6 a day. And that's here, it's all over this country, and there's little slice by slice, the erosion of democracy. And it comes down to control. It's about books, it's boycotts, it's bullets, it's bonds, and it is certainly bodies. And to be very frank right now, they're all political footballs. My predecessor was here for 50 years. We all know that. He never had to deal with the stuff that a lot of us in elected office have to contend with. But I know this. I know that we are determined to take this to the voter box in August, and we are super determined to take it in November. And so to that, I'm going to point out someone. She has petitions. I'm going to be real honest with you. We have to get out to the ballot. But if you have some interest, please sign and do everything that you possibly can to get your friends and your colleagues to the polls this November, because it is the most important thing that we have. And so I'm looking down at my notes here because Schellebarger's a former teacher, just like my mother. And he said one thing to me. He said, I remember last year when we were right upstairs, remember it was pouring the rain. It was terrible storms out here. It was pouring the rain, so we moved upstairs. And last year I kind of challenged myself to write something a little creative. And it was a poem. It was a very brief poem, to which Mr. Schellebarger said, it was lovely. And so what I'm going to do is, I know the greatest gift that I can give you is it's a win-win. It's about communication and creativity, but it's really about the brevity part. So he challenged me, holding a glass of wine in our hands on Saturday night, to write a haiku. And so, Mr. Schellebarger, this is my response. Choice and voting rights, the foundation of our fights, our voices will be heard. Happy Pride, Columbus.
Well, how often do we get a haiku by Megan? I love it. And now it is my pleasure to welcome Denzil Porteous, Executive Director of Stonewall Columbus, to the podium.
My humor is not like Megan, so thank you for it. I love it so much. Good evening, everyone. Thank you. Mayor Ginther, Council President Hardin, Auditor Kilgore, Director William Scott. I thank each of you for your work in making space for this very important moment in recognition, honor, and celebration of the LGBTQ+ community here in Columbus, across the region, and the globe. Steve, Chris, thank you. This year, we take space to celebrate, remember, and recognize our LGBTQ community. Let us celebrate and remember the purpose of our pride. The Stonewall Uprisings, which took place 54 years ago, ignited a movement for liberation that continues to this day. And while some progress has been made, we know our fight is far from over. We still face discrimination, hate, and bigotry. Columbus can be proud of our city and its elected officials, who for a long time have supported LGBTQ+ community. They have shown their commitment and support by implementing policies that protect our community from discrimination and by supporting them with LGBTQ organizations like Stonewall Columbus. We are grateful for their unwavering support and dedication to making our city a more inclusive and welcoming space. The LGBT community spans race, color, religion, gender, sexual orientation, gender identity, gender expression, age, ancestry, national origin, and difference of ability. Over a period of 54 years, our community has banded together to fight against some of the most challenging situations of many of our lifetimes. We have survived laws that kept their eyes in our bedrooms, battled the HIV/AIDS epidemic, challenged antiquated notions of marriage, fought for protections under Title VII, held corporations accountable to invest in our communities outside of just Pride Month, and in the face of bigotry, we persist. Our persistence is our power. And that power is evident in the recognition of Pride in Columbus, which has grown tremendously since the first Pride March here in 1981. This year's Pride theme, Purpose, Passion, Power, reminds us of the purpose of protests, the passion that drives our community, and the power that we have to come together to fight for equality and justice. As we celebrate and recognize Pride this month, let us not forget the purpose of our fight, the passion that has driven us to this point, and the power that we hold when we come together in solidarity. When we must work to uplift the various identities in our intersectional community, find ways that enable us to demonstrate our community's capacity to make things happen, and stand in our power to create change. We must remember the recognition of Pride was not always seen as a celebratory moment. For a long time, our celebration of Pride was seen as a radical assault on normative values and did not include marginalized or intersectional identities. But as we have come to know better, we must strive to do better, to find more ways to be inclusive. The evolution of our fight means that we must work to include the most of us and not just some of us. We must push for equality, equity, and liberation for the intersectional identities among us. People are our passion. We stand in a moment of shared history when queer identities are being attacked with legislation unlike we've ever seen before, when the injustices enacted toward LGBT community is at an all-time high. We are halfway into the year, and over 540 anti-LGBTQ bills have been introduced across the country, a record. Over 220 bills specifically targeting transgender and non-binary people, also a record. And this year, 45 anti-LGBTQ bills have been passed into law so far. 54 years past the Stonewall Uprising, we have much to celebrate, but far more left in our fight. In the month of June, as our communities gather around the country to celebrate and recognize LGBT pride across our intersectional identities, we must ensure we do so with the remembrance of our purpose, celebration of our passion, and as a demonstration of our power. Because we know as we fight to make and maintain spaces for queer identities to be seen and thrive, at the core, this fight is about our pride. Columbus's first Pride March saw 200 people, some of whom wore face masks, coverings to protect their identities, marching from The Ohio State University to the State House, not only in commemoration of the 1969 Stonewall Uprising, but also to draw light to the community of LGBTQ individuals here in Central Ohio who continue to live in secret, afraid to live publicly in their truth. 42 years on, and we're during our last Pride March, the city welcomed hundreds of thousands of people, individuals in celebration and recognition of our pride. And we may still be proud, but we are under attack. This year, as we gather, let us consider the words of Audre Lorde in her powerful poem, A Litany for Survival, as they echo the essence of our struggle and the resilience of our power protects. For those of us who live at the shoreline, standing upon the constant edges of decision, crucial and alone. For those of us who cannot indulge the passing dreams of choice, who love in doorways coming and going in the hours between the dawns. For those of us who were imprinted with fear, like a faint line in the center of our foreheads, learning to be afraid with our mother's milk. For by this weapon, this illusion of safety to be found, the heavy-footed hope to silence us. For all of us, this instant, this triumph, we were never meant to survive. We draw strength from our collective power, knowing that true change emerges when we stand shoulder to shoulder, amplifying the voices of the marginalized and dismantling the systems that perpetuate discrimination. Our power lies in our unity, in our commitment to showing up for each other, and in our unwavering belief that love and acceptance will triumph over hate. Together, we will shape a world where every LGBTQ+ individual can live with dignity, where their dreams can flourish, and where their identities are celebrated. This is our purpose, passion, power. Happy Pride Month, Columbus.
Thank you, Denzel. I'm excited to welcome our next speaker to the podium. Please join me in welcoming an individual who has done so much for the LGBTQ+ community and for the Columbus community, for the entire Columbus community, Steve Schellebarger.
Wow, it's kind of hard to follow all of this, you know. Goodness. Thanks for all the kind words. Thank you, all of our wonderful elected officials of Columbus who have been so supportive and who do so much for the LGBT+ community. First of all, let me say, my name is on this award, but there are so many hundreds and hundreds of other people whose names could very well be on this award as well. And it fills me with humility when it's talked about as the Schellebarger Award, and I kind of roll my eyes and I think, oh, wow. There are just so many folks who have participated in making Columbus such a wonderful, wonderful city. We have so many allies. We have so many great leaders over the years. We have martyrs among our people. I always think of the friends that were lost to the AIDS crisis because in many ways, they are our martyrs. They forced doors open. They forced people to listen. They brought us friendships and allies, and without them, we would not be where we are today. And I think every member of my community needs to always keep them in mind and to think of them and to thank them in our own way. So when they asked me to speak a little bit today, I thought, wow, I haven't really spoken, I don't think, at this award since it was presented 7 years ago. And so I actually went back and looked at YouTube. And this ceremony is on YouTube. And there are a lot of people here that I saw in that video. And you know what? None of us have changed, have we? We all look just the same. Well, that was a pretty interesting year because that was June the 13th, 2016, 7 years ago. And we were very excited about that Pride coming up that next week because it was really intended to celebrate LGBTQ+ progress. Here we were, the largest Pride in the Midwest, increasing acceptance of diversity, marriage equality had been declared just a year before, Columbus bathed in rainbow colors and lights, a symbol of pride and equality.
But if you have a long memory, 2 days before that ceremony was the Orlando Pulse tragedy. 49 murdered, 53 wounded at an LGBT club in Orlando, Florida. It felt like a kick in the stomach to all of us. And suddenly, our thoughts of celebration turned a different direction, to anger, to fear. And so we pledged that night that we would not be intimidated. I wish I could say that everything was better now. And as many people have pointed out already this evening, that is not the way it is, and I can't say that. I don't need to tell you that our community is under attack. Hatred has been mainstreamed. Violence has been normalized by a radical right-wing and right-wing politicians who use hate for their own personal gain. But there is good news. We have not been intimidated, and we are not going away. We are not going back 50 years. In 2 weeks, we're going to march proudly with more people than ever in Columbus, Ohio. Tonight, we're going to light up City Hall in even brighter colors than ever before. And we will make our votes count. We will make our voices heard. Democracy is threatened. Democracy dies in silence. We will not be quiet. Chris Kozad, who we're honoring tonight, is, I think, the perfect choice for this time. Her whole life symbolizes a commitment to women and to the LGBTQ plus community and to the quest for equality. I could stand here and read all of the things that she has done over the years, and we would be lighting up City Hall at sunrise. I know that many get tired of what seems like a constant battle. All we're asking for is to be treated equally. That's all. And with fairness. That's all. When I start to think away this way, because I get tired too. I get tired of it seems like got to go do something else. We got to go raise money for something else. We've got to register voters. We've got to do whatever, and I get tired. There's one thing I always remind myself of. There is no such thing as 50% equal. There is no such thing as 60% justice. There is only equality, and there is only justice. Thank you, Columbus, for your commitment to both.
And at this time, I would invite all of our speakers to return to the podium for the presentation of the Schellebarger Illuminator Award by Council President Hardin.
I was saying no one could have been a better presenter of the Steve Schelleberger Award than actually Mr. Schelleberger. Matter of fact, Steve, why don't you come up here and present the award to Ms. Chris Kozak?
There is no one in the city of Columbus that has done more for the gay and lesbian community than this lady. She has, we go back so many years and have fought so many battles, and we still are friends through it all. And we always know we can call each other. We know we can depend upon each other. There are so many things that people don't know that go on behind the scenes when we're struggling with various challenges, whether, and Chris has been at the height of this, where there were people who needed help, and she's helped them again and again and again. With Gloria, you know, they were a pair that absolutely led our women's community, and I cannot express my appreciation for her kindness and for her wealth of knowledge and for her energy all of these years.
Thank you. Thank you, Steve. I can't, well, I'll talk about Steve in a minute. First of all, Mayor Ginther, Shannon, Megan, Denzel, my friend Carla, thank you. Thank you to all the members of council and all my friends that are here and my community. And I'm going off script already. I know you're surprised. But we have said over and over tonight, the LGBTQ plus community, and I want to say the words, lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, questioning, asexual, intersex, two-spirit, and then the plus, because we keep adding more because we have an open heart and we welcome more and more people in. But you know, it's weird to be an abbreviation. So, you know, at least once a night you ought to actually say the words. Happy Pride, everybody. Happy Pride. Again, I want to thank Council President Hardin, Mayor Ginther, all of the members of council, Auditor Kilgore, for your support, your steadfast leadership, and your friendship. It means a lot. It means a lot not just to me, but to our community. I do have to say, as someone who's been on the committee for this event, it's a little weird being the award winner. I've been on the committee for years. I've been part of the selection process, and they managed to keep it a complete secret. So, good job. This award means a lot to me. Steve and I go way back. He is an old and dear friend, and he's one of my mentors. As we worked together over the years for LGBTQ plus equality and safety, there were moments when we were the two old radicals in the back pushing for the fight, when everyone else in our community wanted to take the path of least resistance. Sometimes we won, sometimes we didn't. We followed the crowd. But Steve has always had the same fire in his belly that I have had in mind around our fight for our rights. It also means a lot to me. Thank you. It also means a lot to me because my partner of 40 years, Gloria McCauley, who will be gone a year on Thursday, won this award in 2017. And she shared the award that year with Linda Schuler, Carla Rosen's partner. And to have lost them both this past year has just been an amazing, amazing blow to our community. You know, and the other thing that's sweet is that so much of my personal activism, particularly in the last 15 years or so, has really been working directly with the City of Columbus. From working on ordinances, ethnic intimidation, domestic partner benefits, our various versions of our non-discrimination ordinance. I served as Mayor Ginther's liaison from the very beginning of his term. I served as Mayor Coleman's before that. I have worked and continued to work with the city to make sure that Columbus remains an absolute leader in equality and a safe city for our community to live and to work. It's personal for me. Gloria and I raised our family here. In fact, my daughter Kaylin is here with us this evening. Columbus is our home. But tonight's also about Pride. Pride is more than a fun parade and a festival, and a lot of work if you've ever done it. It's more than all the fabulous events that happened around our area this month. Pride is about standing up for what is right, for our rights. Pride is about safety, and unfortunately, far too often, a lack of safety. Pride is about history. 1 week from tonight, we will honor and remember the victims and the survivors of the Pulse nightclub shooting in 2016. Pride is about honoring our history and the Stonewall riots and the brave drag queens, butch dykes, and trans folk that fought back against police brutality. We think of Pride as a celebration, and it is, but it's so much more. Pride is a political statement that we have the right to be our authentic and full selves openly and safely every day. Pride represents an ongoing civil rights movement. While the City of Columbus offers our community sweeping protections within our city limits, other municipalities in Central Ohio do not. You can literally drive in and out of protection on your way to work and on your way to the grocery store. We are not protected in the state of Ohio. In fact, we are under attack in the state of Ohio. An unprecedented attack in our state house and in so many state houses around the country to set us back that 50 plus years. We have limited protection on the federal level, but even with that, the far right works to remove those protections. Pride is self-preservation, suicide, mental health, substance abuse, HIV and AIDS, bigotry and violence are killing us. They're killing our young people, they're killing our friends, our families, our neighbors. They are devastating our community. Pride is about work and vigilance. No one has ever given us our rights. We have demanded them over and over again, and that fight is not over. We must continue to demand and work for our own liberation. We must remain vigilant. They're coming for us yet again, and they are emboldened, brazened, and more violent than ever. Pride is our vision of our future, where bigotry and hatred are no longer acceptable against anyone, where our leaders do not use us as political pawns in their thirst for power, where we join hands across our differences and work together for common goals. We really are stronger together, where pride can truly be a celebration, not only of who we are, but how we got here. Thank you all for being here tonight. Thank you all for this award, for your work, your support, and your continued passion to improve our lives and our community. Happy Pride. And now it's dark, the moment we've all been waiting for.
Almost. I'm personally grateful to Chris for all she has done to lead the Community Relations Commission and continue to advance equity in Columbus. Chris has served as a member of the commission for, well, I won't say how many years, but it's been a really long time. Please join me again in recognizing Chris one more time. And now, please join me in welcoming the Columbus Gay Men's Chorus. And after the choir performs, we will do our countdown to Light City Hall.
Here we go again.
Yeah, we can come back up.
We're still. And now I will ask Chris to come up and do our countdown for us. We ready?
See, I listen. I know what this side without the chorus.
We ready?
Are we doing it together? Well, let's all do it together.
Start with 10. It's on you.
Ready? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Happy Pride,
Happy
Columbus.
Pride! There it is.
Thank you all for joining us. That concludes our program for this evening. Have a great Pride Month.